Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Islamic Calling podcast. I'm your host, Islamic Calling. I'm joined by brother MENJ. How are you, bro?
Walaikum salam. I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Yeah, how about you? Hello, brother. Are you there?
Having some internet issues, or at least I'm having internet issues.
Yeah.
But we're here to review the debate between brother Daniel and T-Jump. Now, we both have our own experience with with T-Jump. So, would you mind give us a little bit of your experience with T-Jump? Then I can start with mine.
Well, basically, it began when James, the moderator of Modern Day Debate, he wanted more Muslim debaters, so
Okay.
he was advertising for debaters. So I thought that maybe if I were to go on his platform, I'll be debating more Christians. But
Okay.
then the first debater, unfortunately for me, the first debater that James chose for me was Tijam. I didn't know
Uh,
who Tijam was back then. I didn't know how he would behave during a debate. I thought, okay, maybe this guy would be fine. Because that was like my first debate on an international platform. It's not that I did not do any debates before. I have done many debates before that moment, but it's just that I don't know. Maybe I was perhaps unconsciously I was underestimating my opponent, or I did not research his background properly. So I just went in blindly, thinking that I could just present my points and work it out from there. That
yeah.
was a costly mistake because Tijam, he likes to bombard you with many philosophical terms and jargon that his opponent may not be familiar with. And yes,
Yeah.
I was not familiar with any of those jargons. So that is where it started to just from that point onwards, when Tijam was coming out with all these silly, ridiculous jargons and everything. I mean, I was basically trying to tell him that something cannot be created from nothing. And I gave an example
Hmm.
of a Lego block. If you throw a couple of Lego blocks on the ground, would that Lego block suddenly magically become a building? You know what he said? He said that it's possible if the physics allow it. I mean, I was like stumped a bit. I mean, I should have like pressed on. I tried to press him on that, but he was just giving out jargons and he was making these
Yeah,
faces.
that's one thing.
Holding it.
That's
Yeah, he
one
was.
thing he likes to do. Oh, by
Yes,
the way,
yes,
can you guys hear us properly in the chat? Please let us know.
yeah.
Uh, uh, in the chat, guys, let us know if you can hear us. You can comment and let us know. This is only temporary. Hopefully, if the once the internet connection becomes better, we'll switch on the camera. Hopefully. So
Yep.
yeah. Um, so as you were saying, so basically, you had a very bad experience with
It
TJAM,
was a
right?
very unpleasant experience, and I don't think I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
to repeat it
It's the
again.
same
Yeah.
for me.
Yes.
So
Yes.
basically, you know that I've never I usually debate people on my channel, and I don't know
Yes.
why. I just thought that maybe I could start doing debates and whatnot. And I also tried to. So I basically first I invited him, or he invited me. I couldn't remember exactly. So yeah, so basically, the debate was scheduled, and then on the day I debated him. And one thing I noticed with this guy is that he likes to completely do a complete red herrings. This is something I've noticed. And so basically, the debate topic was I was trying to explain to him how it's not possible for there to be causation without an intelligent being, right? Like, for example, if there's like a chair, can the chair move by itself? Obviously not. Now,
Yes.
for
Yes.
example, eh, like if you have like a light switch, it can't turn itself on without like some kind of a intelligent being. So when we see like causation, there can be two explanation, right? Like for example, either it's happening by itself or it's being caused by someone else, right? Now, is there any evidence that it's being caused by someone else? Yes, because intelligent people can cause things, or intelligent beings can cause things. Birds can build houses made of straw, or people can make like houses and do all these other kind of crazy things. So
Yes.
we have evidence that intelligent beings can cause things, but what evidence
Yes.
do we have that things can just cause themselves?
Magically happen out of
Nothing.
nowhere. Basically, it's a similar argument to what I argued with him about, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
basically, nothing. and that's this. This is a very simple argument, and if he was the debate, it was like so funny. Like it just went like complete 360. Like he just started arguing about like some stupid doctor insulting him. I don't know how it got there. Like the main topic was not discussed at all. The main topic was not discussed at all. So he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
complete red herring. He was just started insulting
Exactly.
me,
Exactly.
abusing me, and then I got angry, and then I also like fell into this trap, and like that debate topic went like
Yes.
completely different.
Exactly.
So
It was the same for me. In
yeah,
fact,
so
the
yeah,
topic was about is does God exist, right? And then it went
yeah,
from where did God exist to suddenly talking about apostasy laws in Malaysia.
yeah.
How the hell
Yeah.
did that happen? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically he basically likes to stay away from the topic when he can defend it, and this is something I've noticed. He does it a lot, and as we will see with brother Daniel, he tried to do the same, but brother Daniel's actually kind of caught him on this. So let's get
But
started.
yes.
Hopefully there won't be any more issues.
All right.
Let's share the screen. Bismillah. All right, can you see the screen?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, let's wait. Can you see the stream?
It's loading from my end. Okay. All right, it's
Okay.
loaded. Yeah, it's loaded.
All right. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're only going to do the review for the debate portion of it. We're gonna completely ignore the Q&A
You
because
mean
that's gonna take too much
you mean
time.
the cross examination, right?
Yeah, yeah. By the
All right.
way, guys in the chat, please let us know if you can hear the stream properly. Is there any connection issues? Let us know. So yeah, we should get started. Hold on, let me just start with Daniel's opening statement.
Yeah.
Brother Harry says, Salam alaikum, wa alaikum assalam. Okay, so we start with Daniel's opening. Oh my God, the net is so slow. Okay, anyway.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Atheists say they do not believe in God because there's no scientific evidence for God. The operating principle here is that in order to be justified in your belief in
Okay,
something,
should I speed it up?
Sure, please do. Yeah. I think maybe you can put that two, yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't lag.
you need to have scientific evidence. But how consistent are atheists in applying this principle? My argument is that atheists are not consistent. They are selective skeptics. Let me share my screen here. Here's the argument. Premise 1, atheists live in societies with governments and laws. Premise 2, long term, humans will not live peacefully under governments and laws they believe are morally evil. They will revolt. Premise 3.
Brother Faraz Ahmed says, oh, alaikum assalam. Of course, okay, welcome to the
To
stream.
avoid civil war, there needs to be a basic consensus that the government and laws are not morally evil. If a high percentage of the people believe that government and laws are evil because of oppression, discrimination, or lies, they will revolt. Premise 5. Or premise 4. Premise 4. Scientific facts alone are not enough to create consensus among large groups of people. Consensus requires additional facts. Those facts can be religious in character or they can be non-religious in character. Those are the only two choices. Premise 5. Atheists reject purported facts that are religious in character. Therefore, in accepting political consensus, atheists accept facts that are not religious in character and are not backed by science. Therefore, atheists are not consistent skeptics, at least those living in stable, secular societies.
Okay, so basically this is Daniel's argument, which is let's go back a little bit. Okay, so basically his argument is that when it comes to living in societies or political ideas, atheists oftentimes use like these liberal ideas to critique these religious positions, right? Like for example, abortion and whatnot.
That's right.
And they do this in a very fervent manner, like they do this in a very harsh manner, right? Like for
Yes.
example, you Christians are
Manner.
evil. Yeah.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
you Christians are evil because you guys don't allow abortion, or you Muslims are evil because your women have no freedom, all this other kind of nonsense, right? So all of this, it sounds like it's coming from some kind of a scientific objective grounding, right? Because when it comes to rejecting God or God's existence, they always refer back to science, right? Which is a science they use science as their epistemology. So in case you guys don't know, epistemology is basically how you know something. Actually, hold on. I have a paper here. See if I can share this. So if you go to let me just stop sharing this. And if we look at epistemology, let me share the screen. By the way, bro, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Don't worry.
Okay, okay. Let me share the screen. By the way, bro, you're familiar with epistemology, right?
Not much, but yeah, I know of it.
Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, so epistemology. So basically, this is a paper, Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy, a peer-reviewed academic resource. So basically, it's written by like philosophers and academics and scholars. And so basically, this is what it says. Epistemology is the study of knowledge. Epistemologists concern themselves with a number of tasks, which we might sort into two categories. First, we must determine the nature of knowledge. That is, what does it mean to say that somehow someone knows or fails to know something? This is a matter of understanding what knowledge is and how to distinguish between cases, etc., etc. Second, we must determine the extent of human knowledge. That is, how much do we or can we know? So basically, the epistemology is the study of knowledge, right? How we know something, how we cannot know something, etc., etc. So when atheists make the claim that God doesn't exist, that's an active claim, and they say that he doesn't exist based on their epistemology, which is scientific, right? However, when it comes to morality and moral claims, all of a sudden they throw science out the window. They completely throw science out the window, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, science, it doesn't matter, or there's no conclusive, or science is not enough to say that a moral matter is can be decided objectively. So basically, that's Brother Daniel's argument, which is that when it comes to their worldview, atheists are not consistent skeptics, because when it comes to natural world, they use science basically makes this articulates this point in a really well manner, which is that let me share the screen. Uh, Here we go. Which is through this argument, which is that atheists live in a human society with government and laws. Humans will not live peacefully under government and laws that they believe are morally evil. They will revolt, and in order to avoid that, there needs to be consensus. And if a high percentage of people don't agree with that, then they will revolt. And then he goes on to explain that scientific facts alone are not enough, which is true. Because if you say, like, for example, that evolution says that RAPE is okay, right? That's a scientific fact. Would like atheists accept that? No, of course not. They will reject it. So they will all of a sudden switch their epistemology and act like, oh, they don't care about science all of a sudden. That's what he's talking about. Science alone is not enough. So they use all these other kind of different ideas, like moral, philosophical or intuitive ideas, to reject these type of scientific claims. And as he says, atheists reject religious claims. Therefore, in accepting political consensus, atheists accept facts that are not religious and not scientific. And yeah, and that he's absolutely correct. And this is something that you'll see throughout atheists, like intellectuals. They're not consistent at all with their epistemology. But let me know, what do you think, bro? Is this a good argument?
Yes, I think it does reflect the inconsistency of atheists to pick and choose whatever fits them, because they're like Brother Daniel states, they don't use scientific facts alone to determine whether something is quotes moral or not, right? I mean, they don't exactly have a moral standard, okay, and it's arbitrary, okay, and it's something that is highly dependent upon their environment and their culture, okay. So for example, let's say if their culture is to eat human flesh, atheists, if they are brought up in this situation, they are not going to consider eating human flesh to be barbaric, okay. They consider it to be they're not even going to consider it to be immoral. In fact, during the Q&A session, if you hear one of the questions asked, someone asked Tijam whether he's okay with necrophilia, and he said it's fine as long as the person gave consent. You see. I mean, every other single society in the world is probably going to reject that idea, except for him. Okay, and you see, this
Yeah.
is one example. Okay, of atheists being selective in their morality, and this is exactly the point which Brother Daniel is trying to demonstrate. Yeah.
Yeah. Brother S. Rahman says, Salam, walaikum salam, bro. Oh, by the way, guys, I actually have to go on a quick break to pray, and I'll come right back. Brother MENJ, can you keep talking and explain this point? Inshallah, I'll be back.
Never mind. I think it's all right if I stay silent because it won't be fun if you're not around.
Yeah, but still, you should keep talking and explain these points. Inshallah, I'll be right back.
All right. Okay. Sure. Just take your time. Don't worry. All right. So anyway, yeah. So it looks like Brother Islamic calling is leaving for prayers, I assume, because I heard the azan in the background of his stream. So anyway, yes. Yeah. Like I said, when it comes to atheism and atheists, they don't have a moral standard. Okay. Like for example, where we Muslims are concerned, we have the Quran and the Sunnah as our guidance, as our moral standard. Okay. Because we believe that the Quran is a revelation from God Almighty, and we believe that the Hadiths reports the actions and the words of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam based on the injunctions in the Quran. In fact, Aisha radiallahu anha, in her most famous one of the most famous hadith, says that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the personification of the Quran, meaning that the Prophet follows, exemplifies whatever the Quran instructs, and the Prophet is the best example of how someone should behave according to the Quran. Okay, and atheists don't have this standard. Okay, they are selective, they are arbitrary, they are ad hoc, they simply they don't have anything else. They don't actually have a standard to rely upon apart from their own cultural and their own surroundings. Okay, so as I've said earlier, if that particular culture or surroundings allows for them to do something which we Muslims or universally consider to be immoral, the atheists will probably say, "Oh, it's fine as long as there's consent." Okay? Like for example, let's say I actually gave this example in my live stream earlier this morning. Okay, let's say we know that robbery and rape is wrong, right? Okay, we know that robbery and rape is wrong, and even if someone gave consent to these two things, it's still wrong. It's still ethically and morally reprehensible and unacceptable. Okay, so let's say since Tijam keeps talking about, if you watch the debate, you'll find that Tijam kept talking about consent. Okay, meaning that for him, as long as the other party gives consent, is acceptable to him. Okay, so let's say if there's someone, a woman, let's say, in the house, she says, "All right, I'm fine with being robbed and being raped. Okay, I've given my consent." So anyone, guys, she just, this hypothetical lady just says, "Okay, anyone who wants to come to my house in the middle of the night, come and rape me and come and rob my belongings." Would that still be considered acceptable morally and ethically, even if the woman says so? I mean, let's even if she has given her consent to be raped and to be robbed of her valuables, would that still be justified? Will robbery and rape be moral? I mean, why are we even having this discussion at all? I mean, robbery is immoral, period. Rape is immoral, period. I mean, there's no discussion about this. You can't say that just because the other party gave their consent, okay, if the other party gave the consent to be raped or robbed, it doesn't mean that it is moral. It doesn't mean that it can be accepted. So, okay, so this is an example. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. So, I think Brother Farah says, if she gives permission, then that's not rape or robbery. You can call it some other term. Okay, I wouldn't know, but my point is that even if someone gave consent to be raped or to be robbed, that doesn't justify robbery or rape. Okay, that's my point. Okay, so it's still wrong. It's still morally and ethically wrong. Okay, and it should not be condoned, even if the other party gave the consent. So when I watched that debate, I was watching the debate live, and when someone asked Tjump whether necrophilia is acceptable, and he answered in the way he did, meaning to say that he replied saying that it's okay as long as the other party gave their consent before they passed away. I was like, wow, your worldview is your worldview is totally corrupted. I mean, who in their right mind would consider necrophilia to be acceptable? Okay, even with consent. Okay, my point is that even with consent, it's not going to be acceptable. Okay, because I mean, this kind of deviant and immoral
All right, I'm back.
actions is totally unacceptable. All right, okay. So thank you, brother Islamic Colin. You can take over the show now. I think I've babbled on long enough.
Sure, no problem.
Right.
Uh, uh, okay, so let's continue, inshallah. Uh, okay, continue.
Religious in character and are not backed by science. Therefore, atheists are not consistent skeptics, at least those living in stable, secular societies. So, for example, look at China. With over 60% atheist population, the highest in the world. Do you think Chinese atheists are free thinkers? No, obviously much of their worldview is Chinese nationalist propaganda. Or consider the former USSR, a government which was explicitly atheist and ruled over millions of atheists. Were Soviet atheists free thinkers? No, their worldview was dictated in large part by Soviet propaganda. Well, we have the same situation in the secular West. The state propaganda is liberal, secular political ideology, and no one is more blindly committed to that ideology than Western atheists. We can understand this better with 4 categories of examples. Examples that have to do with utilitarianism, about human nature, about group difference, and about so-called conspiracy theories. Let's start with the first category of...
But bro, can you try turning your camera on right now? I think the internet connection is back to normal, but I just need to check.
All right, give me a moment. Right. Okay. Let me see. Where's my hat? Let me get my hat first.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay. I'm switching on the camera now.
All right.
So, can you hear me?
Can hear you.
All right. Is it buffering or is it all right?
Let's try it out for a bit. If it's buffering, then we'll switch it off.
All right.
Okay. Let's continue then.
Utilitarianism. Consider democracy versus dictatorship.
Pardon my interruption. We're not able to see your slides anymore. If you still had slides, you were showing.
Yeah, I took off the screen share, so you shouldn't see any more. Consider democracy versus dictatorship. Which political model leads to better socioeconomic outcomes? You can bring in a ton of empirical data to weigh pros and cons to justify either position, but ultimately,
look at Tjum's face. Just look at what is this guy doing?
Yeah, he's making his.
He's texting. He's like looking around.
He's making his multiple faces again. Yeah,
what's this guy's problem?
This is his debate tactic to make cringy faces while listening to your opponent. Okay.
I mean, seriously, like if you're like debating someone, then at least have the respect to listen to what your opponent is saying.
Exactly,
and this guy's like chatting with the Discord. He's looking around, making faces. It's so cringe.
It's so disrespectful to your opponent to do this. I mean, even in my debate with Godless Girl, at the very least I did try to be civil, right? I mean, I was just listening to her rambling. I didn't make any faces or anything, right? Yeah. So even though her points were just whacked and totally off, but I just listened. I just sat down. I didn't make any funny faces, even though I was thinking, "Oh, what the hell is she arguing?" I mean, basically during that debate, she was just arguing about the rock problem and the problem of evil. Okay, these two things.
Yeah.
Okay, and these two things have been answered by Muslim scholars like decades ago. Okay, so it's really nothing special. I mean, nothing new that she brought forth. So this, going back to this Tjump guy, he's just being rude, and for me, he's a really disrespectful debater. He shouldn't be allowed to debate anyone because he just doesn't know how to respect anyone.
Yeah. By the way, bro, I think you're cutting off. Can you try switching off the camera and then turn it back on?
Oh dear. Okay. So yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm taking off my cap.
So
There's
the
no
cap
point
is
for me
only
to-
for the camera.
Yes, that's right. It's for the camera. I mean, there's no point for me wearing the cap if no one is going to watch it. No one going to see it.
Okay, let's continue.
to definitively decide. You need additional facts that go beyond science to justify one position, and that's where political ideology comes in. Of course, we find that atheists in the West overwhelmingly support the idea of liberal democracy. Atheists in China or the USSR beg to differ. Another example, atheists believe that giving people more and more freedoms is good for society and increases happiness and prosperity. But is this actually true? Again, a utilitarian argument, weighing net benefits versus net harms based on empirical evidence, could show that actually individual freedoms should be strictly limited. There could be arguments either way, but the point is science cannot definitively settle this question. Despite this, atheists are unanimous. Where's their skepticism? Or what about encouraging women to pursue careers as opposed to being mothers and homemakers? There's a lot of empirical data showing how careerism among women is associated with higher rates of mental illness, worse outcomes for children, and many other negative social effects. How do we decide which policy is best? One method is to let religion dictate laws and social policy. Religion creates that moral consensus, and that is most common in human history, but that's precisely what...
And this is exactly what Brother Daniel is trying to say, right? So basically, Brother
Yes.
Daniel's point is that, hold on, let me just stop the screen. Sorry, not the screen, the camera. So
Yeah.
basically, Brother Daniel's point is that, that when it comes to Islam, we have a very consistent epistemology, which is based on Quran and Sunnah. Right? Everything, our entire worldview is based on Quran and Sunnah. So we're completely consistent with this epistemology, right? For
Yes.
example, when it comes to knowing what is true about the world, we know it from Quran and Sunnah. Same way, when it comes to knowing what is morally right and wrong, we know from Quran and Sunnah. So
Yes.
everything is from this consistent epistemological worldview, right?
Exactly.
But when it comes to
Exactly.
atheists, they're constantly flip-flopping. When it comes to like natural world, they will say that, oh, we believe in science. But when it comes to moral claims, they'll all of a sudden throw science out the window.
That's how they behave and that's how they think. That is just the way it is for them. Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's basically Daniel's point, which is that, they're hypocritical. They're not consistent.
Yes, that's
what
right.
atheists reject. So how can secular governments create consensus? Well, they fabricate claims to support their liberal ideology and aggressively censor competing narratives. For example, if we were to suggest, well, empirical data shows that net harm of women in the workplace is actually greater than the benefit, therefore we should ban it, what is the response from atheists and the proponents of liberal secularism? They say, that's misogyny, that's hate speech, that's extremism. You're blocked from exploring or even considering a set of potential scientific facts. If you're an academic, you'll not get funding for your research, you'll be kicked out of academia, you'll get banned from social media, you might even be charged with hate speech in some secular countries. You're not allowed to research scientific facts that are politically incorrect according to the secular
Oh, did you see what is it doing? What is
Yeah.
like? Hold on, let me turn on my camera. Like,
Yeah.
what is it doing? Like he's like doing his chin like this, like he's looking around.
Yeah, that's right.
So
That's
stupid.
right. I mean, you look at his
It's just sort of
expression. He's totally.
I mean, we haven't even gotten to the good part. He's gonna do some crazy shit. You're gonna see in a minute.
I look forward to that. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, let's continue.
Yep.
science supports the secular position. So where's the skepticism from atheists? Now let's move to the second category of examples regarding what is human nature. Are human beings naturally atheist or religious? Plenty of evidence suggests that humans are naturally religious and believe in God. This would support laws and policies that prioritize religious perspectives, but atheists will deny the scientific facts here, or they won't practice skepticism about liberal secular claims that all people are born as atheists and it's only indoctrination that makes people religious, and therefore religion should be barred in all matters of governance. Another example, is promiscuity natural for women? If so, that fact would support the political ideology of sexual liberation.
By the way, bro, I have an idea. Why don't we turn on the camera when the video is playing, and then when we talk, we're gonna turn off the camera.
All right. Okay. Up to you. Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Oops. Never mind.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry. Yep. There you are. Ready when you are.
Okay. Let's continue.
Legalizing abortion, etc. But a ton of scientific evidence says that no, women are not naturally promiscuous, and there's a great deal of psychological and societal harm that comes with female promiscuity. But what is the response from proponents of a secular worldview? That's slut shaming, that's misogyny, you're just an incel. The conversation is shut down as hate speech. We're not allowed to scientifically investigate the anti-liberal position. Yet, when you poll atheists, 94% of atheists, according to Pew, think casual premarital sex is acceptable. Nearly 90% believe that abortion should be legal. You have near consensus from atheists on things that are not only not supported by science, but actually glaringly contradict the scientific evidence. No skeptics, though. Another example, pornography. The secular belief is that viewing porn is natural and nothing to be ashamed ashamed of. Nowadays, government programs are even including pornographic material in grade school curricula. But again, tons of evidence suggests that this is very unnatural and damaging. But atheists express no skepticism in these issues and overwhelmingly believe that porn is morally acceptable. Atheists, where's your skepticism? Meanwhile, those who suggest banning porn are branded as irrational extremists and fundamentalists. Now, the third category, group differences. If groups are fundamentally different, then we usually think it's okay to discriminate. For example, can we have laws that discriminate against blind people when it comes to driving cars? Yes, that's justified because the blind cannot safely drive cars. But can we discriminate against Canadians on this? No, because there's no relevant difference between Canadians and other groups.
Mic is muted. Oh yeah, so brother Faraz said 2,000 facial expression in 1 minute.
Yeah, that can be a Guinness recorded in the Guinness of World Records, maybe Guinness Book of World Records, perhaps. I don't know. The most number of faces someone can make in a debate. Yeah, probably that can be a world record. Who knows, right? Yeah.
Yeah, let's continue.
When it comes to driving. So purported facts about group differences affect our understanding of discrimination. Are men and women different enough to justify gender-specific discrimination or unequal treatment in certain domains? All traditional religious systems say yes, but atheists argue this is misogyny and hatred of women. Why? They claim it's because men and women are functionally the same in terms of IQ, psychology, physical capacity, emotional tendencies, etc. Of course, plenty of science says otherwise, so where is the skepticism from atheists? Furthermore, the secular regime aggressively fabricates facts. The liberal consensus, for example, is that the only reason that women don't have as much success in math, science, and business as men is that women are subject to discrimination. It is not because of IQ distribution or women having less testosterone that makes them less competitive. No, it's because they're unfairly discriminated against by men. That is fabricating facts about causation to support a political ideology while ignoring all the contravening scientific evidence. But this is not surprising because scientific facts alone are not enough to bring people to a moral consensus about laws and social policy. Of course, atheists as proponents of the secular system cannot admit that this is what is happening, and that's why atheists are selective skeptics. Another example, should same-sex marriage be legal? An overwhelming consensus of atheists, 92%, say yes.
By the way, James is a Christian, right?
Yes, he's a Christian, or so he claims. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe this is why he doesn't want Muslims debating Christians.
I can say that because he recently uploaded a debate featuring Shabir Ali versus David Wood, and he has platformed Daniel many times, debating David Wood too, at least twice. So you can't really say that he doesn't allow for this. It's just that probably he couldn't find any competent Christian speakers to debate Muslims, perhaps. I don't know. Yeah.
Yes, it's possible, I guess.
Yeah, and the reason he gave, I did ask him why he would, I wanted to debate Christians actually. I did ask whether I could do that. He said that one of the reasons why he doesn't do this is because he couldn't find any. Basically, according to him, a Muslim versus Christian debate is boring to his viewers, and they are not interested in watching. I mean, that's the excuse he gave. Yeah.
That's stupid. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's up to him. It's his platform after all. Who am I to argue? Okay, I'm not Tjump. Okay. Later, if you watch later on in the debate, you'll find Tjump being very
brother Reza Prastio says, Assalamu alaikum, walaikum assalam, bro. Welcome to the stream.
Walaikum salam. Yes.
So yeah, as you're saying.
Yeah, I was saying that later in the debate you will find that Tjump would be very very rude to the moderator. So yeah.
So yeah, let's continue and turn on my camera.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Okay. And if you ask them, they'll say that their support for it is based on the scientific fact that homosexual marriage is exactly the same as heterosexual marriage. Therefore, it would be morally wrong to discriminate against same-sex couples. But much evidence shows that homosexual marriage is associated with mental illness, child abuse, domestic violence, etc. But follow that line of reasoning, and atheists scream, that's homophobic, that's hate speech, that's extremism, and you will be banned from social media, academia, and the political domain as a whole. Where is your skepticism on this issue, atheists? The fourth category, conspiracy theorists. Atheists have no problem believing that the governments around the world routinely commit election fraud, conduct false flags, falsely revise history in order to support their political regimes, manipulate public health crises to expand control, do political assassinations. But if you accuse the US or Western liberal governments of doing these things, you get blasted as a conspiracy theorist about conspiracy theorist or even a disinformation agent who needs to be silenced. Basically, any conspiracy theory about non-liberal regimes, no problem. But conspiracies about liberal regimes like the US, we can't have that because that undermines any consensus about the goodness of the liberal world order. Where is your skepticism on these issues?
Yeah, this is something I actually talk about in my hopefully upcoming video on regarding Salman Rushdie. It's still in the works. So basically, you will see liberals and especially atheists being completely inconsistent when it comes to like their own policies. Like, for example, they will whine about Salman Rushdie, but they completely ignore all the kind of extrajudicial killings that their government sanction or allow. or people
Yes.
who support wars that are completely illegal, like the war in Afghanistan or the war in Iraq, which is completely illegal under international law.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So a lot of atheists will kind of like hand wave this away and act like this is not a problem, and yet they'll take issues with like a religious warfare or like all this other kind of warfare that somehow they have an issue with.
Yes.
So
Also,
yeah,
another thing I can point out is that because they believe that Salman Rushdie's book is an expression of freedom of speech. But if I were to write a book denouncing the Holocaust and questioning the Holocaust, they are not going to allow that book to be published. In fact, I will be jailed for writing such a book questioning the Holocaust. So where's the free speech in that? I mean, so one
yeah.
rule for us and one rule for you, is it? I mean, you see the here. I mean, if you're going to practice free speech, then you're going to have to allow every single thing to be talked about, regardless whether you agree with it or not. But you say you're being selective. When it favors you, when it attacks Islam, when it demeans Islam, they allow for this, saying that it's free speech. But if I were to question the Holocaust, if I were to say, "Oh, the Jews did not die in during the Holocaust," it will be
Bro,
considered as hate
you got
speech.
you're gonna get
Yeah.
me demonetized, bro.
Yes, I know. I mean, I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying this. All right. Okay. Just to be okay.
Uh,
If the YouTube censors are watching this, please let it be known that I'm not saying that the Holocaust did not happen. All right. Okay. I'm just giving an
uh,
example. Okay. I'm giving an
yeah.
example. So if so you can see the hypocrisy in this. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Brother
yes.
Ken he says those expressions were legit cringe. But we haven't even got into the worst cringy
Oh, we
moments. We're
haven't
gonna
gone
get to
into
that.
the actual thing. I mean, the real fun part begins when he starts talking about his about
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the cross examination. Yeah.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yes. Oh
Don't
yes,
worry.
definitely, definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, let's continue, inshallah.
Can I just finish the last paragraph?
We'll do the same for T-Jump in terms of giving an extra 20 seconds.
So these are 4 areas where atheists don't practice the same skepticism they have for religion. It's not just that atheists have different values and that's what's causing the difference. It's that atheists rely on false facts that support their liberal secularism and shut down everything that contravenes it. This is selective skepticism.
Thank you very much for that opening statement, Daniel. And why don't you know, folks, if
Wait,
you're here,
wait. Did you see his face? What is he doing?
I have no idea what he's doing.
Did you see this?
Could you like move it back a bit? Is this the face that you're pointing out, or is there something that he did? Yeah.
Yeah, he constantly make this. Brother Khalil actually pointed this out to me, which is that he's constantly making faces like this. What is he has in his face? Like, is he vomiting? Like, what's happening?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. The guy is just being an idiot. Right? Yeah. Oh, by the way, you should share the comment from Brother Elias. Yeah, I think he made a very interesting point.
Yeah, hold on. William Gustloff was a Nazi politician who was spreading anti-Jew propaganda in Nazi Germany. He was killed by a Jew vigilante. All Jews consider the vigilante as a hero. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah. It's human. I think it's human. It's a human. It's the nature of a human response. I mean,
Yeah.
if someone that you hate is murdered, regardless whether the person was killed lawfully or otherwise, you're going to celebrate the other guy as a hero. Definitely. I mean, this is a natural human response. Like the
Yeah.
same thing as when the U.S. hunting down and killing Osama bin Laden in his compound in Pakistan, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people were celebrating. And
Yeah.
why are you celebrating? Because you think that he's an enemy to the United States, right? That is why you're celebrating.
Yeah.
So the question is, Bin Laden. I'm not saying that Bin Laden didn't do the things that they say he did. I don't know whether he did it or not. I personally I don't care. But the thing is, if you are accusing someone of a crime, that person is usually given the legal right to defend himself in the court of law. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, Bin Laden was not given the opportunity at all. And yet you celebrate, and yet you go and murder him, and and celebrate his death and so on. But if a Muslim were to do this, to someone that they despise, immediately you're
Yeah.
going to say, "Oh, the guy has not been given his fair due of the law process, blah blah blah. He's
Yeah.
just exercising his freedom, he's exercising his free speech, blah blah blah." See, do you see the
Yeah.
hypocrisy, the double standards here? When it
Yeah.
involves Muslims, is a no. But if you do it, if you atheist or whoever non-Muslim do it, and Islamophobe does it, oh, it's
Yeah.
absolutely fine. It's absolutely
Yeah.
fine. See? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Yeah, that's a good point. Let's continue with this puffer fish.
Here at Modern Day Debate, we are a neutral channel hosting debates on science, religion, and politics, welcoming people from every walk of life. We hope you feel welcome. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button as we have many more juicy debates coming up. For example, next week, apostate prophet and Muslim apologist debate whether or not Islam is harmful. You don't want to miss that one.
Yep, that's me. That's me. Brother, I can't hear you, brother.
Yeah, so good luck with the debate, by the way. When is it happening?
It's supposed to be happening this week, inshallah, on Saturday.
All right.
Saturday
May
my
Allah
time,
subhanahu wa ta'ala,
and yeah,
give
Saturday
you
my
courage,
time.
and inshallah,
Yeah,
may you
Saturday my time
have
at 9
a good
9
debate.
a.m. and I think it's on Friday their time in the US at around 9 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, inshallah. We'll look out for that, inshallah. So everyone in the chat, go check out brother MENJ's channel and check out his upcoming debate with like Apos. So yeah, let's continue, inshallah.
Subscribe button. And with that, we're going to kick it over to T Jump for his statement as well. Thanks very much, Tom. The floor is all yours.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on. As always, appreciate being here. I have no idea how pretty much anything he said has to do with the topic. Like, I'm not the other atheist. If your argument is that some atheists aren't,
Like, how did you hear what he said?
Like he's basically throwing every single atheist under the bus, right? He's just saying, "Oh,
No.
I don't."
I'm gonna play it again. Just hear what he said.
All right.
yeah, thanks for inviting me on. As always, appreciate being here. I have no idea how pretty much anything he said has to do with the topic. Like, I'm not the other atheist.
Pretty much anything. He says that he doesn't know how anything he said has anything to do. This guy.
I mean, this guy is a joke, man. This guy is a real joke. Oh my god.
I mean, are you serious? I mean, did you even hear anything Daniel said? And all he was doing is just looking around, making these faces.
You know, you can't see me right now, but I'm actually massaging my forehead right now. I'm doing exactly what he does. So
yeah, be on camera, bro. Turn on the camera. Let's see.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, like this. I needed to do that because that was really mind cringing.
Yeah. Let's continue.
If your argument is that some atheists are inconsistent, like, duh, atheists are people too. Hashtag people too. But in the context of God, they're not adding any extra skepticism. So
okay, so saying atheists are people is not a valid response. Like, how is that a response to like the points that are being made? Like, does it even understand what is being said? Like Daniel is saying that atheists are not consistent skeptic because you guys don't have a consistent epistemology, right? And his response is, yeah, atheists are human. So he basically considered the debate. Oh, what an idiot. So he basically considered the debate.
I mean, I think he's pretty much throwing the towel right from the beginning, but he's still somehow trying to justify his position.
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
For example, I wrote an epistemology, a theory of knowledge. To summarize, its conceptual claims require conceptual evidence, empirical claims require empirical evidence, and metaphysical claims require metaphysical evidence. I apply all claims that
Oh, hold on. What did you say? Let me just...
Maybe you should just slow down the speed a bit.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on. As always, appreciate being here. I have no idea how pretty much anything he said has to do with the topic. Like, I'm not the other atheist. If your argument is that some atheists are inconsistent, like, duh, atheists are people too. Hashtag people too. But in the context of God, they're not adding.
So basically, he's saying that atheists are inconsistent after all, because he says that some atheists are inconsistent and some atheists are consistent, right?
Yeah, that's Daniel's point.
But that is exactly Daniel's point, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he pretty much considered the debate right in the opening statement.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, he considered the debate, and the idiot then later on tries to change his position.
My God, how the hell did this guy even got into this debate? I have no idea.
Exactly. Let's continue.
Any extra skepticism. So, for example, I wrote an epistemology, a theory of knowledge. To summarize, its conceptual claims require conceptual evidence, empirical claims require empirical evidence, and metaphysical.
Wait, what? Conceptual claims require conceptual evidence. metaphysical claims require metaphysical evidence.
I
And
think
what
he's just
is he
throwing
talking
around.
about? What's he talking about?
As usual, he's throwing around big words.
Epistemology is
and
for
he-
everything. Like, what the
Yeah,
hell is he talking about? Hold on, let me just pull up the paper once again.
My God, this guy. Yeah, sure. I mean,
What the
Tjump
hell
is
is he talking
really
about? The epistemology literally means theory of knowledge, like the study of
yes, the
knowledge.
study
Sorry,
of
the
knowledge.
study of knowledge,
Yeah,
how
the
we
study
know
of knowledge.
things.
Yeah,
That means
exactly.
everything.
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
Knowledge means everything.
Yeah.
The
Hold on.
guy is totally delusional. Yeah. I mean, he likes to throw out these big terms and big terminologies without fully understanding what it means as well. See?
All right. Let me just share the screen. Tab. All right. Here we go. Okay, so let's read epistemology. What is epistemology? Epistemology is the study of knowledge. Epistemologists concern themselves with a number of tasks, which we might sort into two categories. First, we must determine the nature of knowledge. That is, what does it mean to say that someone knows or fails to know something? This is a matter of understanding what knowledge is and how to distinguish between cases in which someone knows something and cases in which someone does not know something. While there is some general agreement about some aspects of the issue, we shall see that this question is much more difficult than one might imagine. Second, we must determine the extent of human knowledge. This is, how much do we know, or do we, or can we know? How can we use our reason, our senses, the testimony of others, and other resources to acquire knowledge? Are there limits to what we know? We can know. For instance, are some things unknowable? Is it possible that we do not know nearly as much as we think, or we do? Should we have legitimate worry about skepticism, the view that we do or do not know anything at all? Anything at all. Anything at all. So they're talking about everything. Epistemology literally means the study of knowledge, which means it's the study of knowledge of everything. That's what epistemology means. Like, what is he talking about? This guy has no idea what he's talking about.
I mean, like I say, he's just throwing around big terms and not fully understanding what he's saying, you see.
Yeah, I mean, if
It's
you
pretty
want,
much
we can
that-
even
it-
look
it-
up on.
That's,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
If we want, we can even look up on YouTube what epistemology means. And epistemology basically means the study of knowledge, like how we know something, or how much can we know, etc., etc. This has nothing to do with,
Exactly.
like, we can only know certain things about certain topics. No, epistemology literally means that the study of knowledge. That's it. Or how we can know something. So he has no idea what he's talking about.
I don't think he has studied the subject even. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty clear. I mean, like high school, he needs to go back in high school. I don't think
Didn't he say that he audited several classes, so maybe you should go back to auditing those classes again.
Yeah, exactly. Brother Walil Sakib said, Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Walaikum assalam, bro. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, let's continue.
Physical claims require metaphysical evidence. I apply all claims to that exact same standard, including all things you listed. Women, on average, have a bell curve lower IQ than men. We know this. Same with physical strength. That's why they don't do as well in like chess and wins Nobel prizes. Like, it's a fact. Yes, we know this. It's not debated. It's a fact. So I don't know what you're even talking about when you're saying we don't acknowledge these facts. We do. So it's just not true. So if you're saying that some atheists out there are inconsistent, that's great. I can't talk about those because I'm not them, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's the point. Again, he considered the debate. He considered the debate twice.
I'm reacting the same way that he usually does, right? Like that. Yeah.
I mean, this guy literally considered the debate twice. He admitted that there are some atheists who are not consistent. And that's Daniel's point. He obviously is not saying that every atheist is like that, is like a monolith. But majority of atheists, are not consistent when it comes to epistemology.
Exactly, and that's the point. That's the point. That's exactly the point.
I mean, it doesn't matter if like Tom, alone doesn't believe in this or is consistent. By the way, he himself is not consistent. I'm going to show that later on.
Yes.
But this is but the fact that he kind of considered that some atheists are inconsistent, yeah. So basically, you're conceding the debate.
Yeah,
So
because
stupid.
because the topic is are atheists consistent skeptics, not is Tjump a consistent skeptic?
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the whole point. You see? Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
I'm an
In
atheist,
fact,
I'm not inconsistent.
in
Therefore,
fact, sorry,
that's his
brother,
fault.
just pause for a moment. Yeah, in fact,
Sure,
if the title was changed to "Is Tjump a consistent skeptic?" the answer will also be no.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to show how he's also inconsistent.
Yeah, so right.
But
So
let's
anyway,
continue
continue,
on
brother.
this.
Sorry for interrupting. Yeah, yeah.
Sure, no problem.
False. Atheists are true. Atheists are consistent skeptics. So I don't know where else to go with that. It's pretty simple. I have a consistent epistemology. I apply to all things. Therefore, atheists are consistent skeptics. Debunked.
You got it. We'll jump into the 5
Brother M. Saf Kamal says some atheists are inconsistent skeptics, but I'm not. I'm consistent. Therefore, atheists are consistent skeptics. There you go. Debunked.
Brother Saif Kamal, you really made my day, Aki. Oh my God. All right. That was a very good statement, Aki. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He pinned it. The brother really pinned it on. It's right at the spot. It's on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like,
You know,
this
we can
guy's
actually, you know what? We can actually end the live stream now. Just that's exactly the point.
yeah. Brother Nizak Nika Muhammad said, I think what Hijam is trying to say is atheists are largely individualistic and versus having codified central belief. Yeah, and that's basically Daniel's point. Because he's trying to say that when you don't have this type of coherent belief when it comes to epistemology, that is inconsistent. That is a type of inconsistency, and that's his point.
minute rebuttal. So each side will get 5 minutes. In return,
So, for example, like in order to like rebut Daniel, he could have brought a few points. Like he could have said, "No, we are consistent, and this is how we are consistent." But he didn't do any of that. He just considered the debate. A good debater would try to do that.
By the way, look at Tjum's reaction now. Look at that. Just look at that. Yeah. Would you look at that? He's trying to do the thing again.
Yeah.
With that, also want to say, folks, if you have not yet already considered sharing this debate with somebody else who enjoys these topics, as we really do want to spread a neutral platform, modern day debate on YouTube as well as via podcast. With that, Daniel, thank you very much. The floor is all yours for your 5-minute rebuttal.
Yeah, so the topic is, are atheists consistent skeptics? So it's referring to atheists as a group, not just is Tjump a consistent skeptic. That wasn't the topic of the debate. We're talking about atheists. And the whole point of my argument, and I can bring it on the screen again if you want to like point to a specific problem that you have with the argument, is that the skepticism that atheists are using against religion is not consistent with, or is not consistently used against these other areas within politics, within society, within perspectives of history, within morality and values and policy. This is the whole point of being consistent as a skeptic. You can't just have liberalism and secularism as a worldview is the dominant ideology within the world today. And for some reason, atheists have as a group are not interested in having a sustained critique against it. And all the most prominent atheist thinkers, whether you're talking about Sam Harris or Richard Dawkins or Christopher Hitchens or even someone like Daniel Dennett, they all fall on that part of the political spectrum in terms of values, in terms of political outlook, views on government, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what we're talking about when we refer to atheists within this debate topic. I mean, you're saying something like, okay, the IQ of women is lower. When we look at a bell curve, the average might be slightly lower, and they have less of a standard distribution at either ends of that bell curve. But is that something that we can talk about? Like, I graduated from Harvard University, and we had Larry Summers as our president. Larry Summers was sacked as president of Harvard University while I was a student. Why? Because he pointed out exactly this fact that you said, oh, everyone acknowledges. He got kicked out of Harvard University as president because he said that, look, women's IQ, he was addressing the fact, or the situation at Harvard where you have more the physics department, the math department, the chemistry.
So in case if you guys notice, so basically Daniel is trying to actually debate or discuss the topic, which is a much broader and a complex topic than what Tjump is trying to understand. He's just trying to debate for the sake of debating. Like he's not even engaging with the topic itself, right? So basically the topic is like, if this is the case that there is this inconsistency, isn't that boiling down in the society as a whole? And the answer is yes. Because you see that these liberals and these atheists, they're being consistently inconsistent, and as a result, they're creating inconsistent laws and policies, right? And and that's a valid critique of like liberalism and kind of like this type of hardcore, social liberalism and all these other kind of ideologies. What are you, Bray there?
Yes, yes, I'm here. Yeah, you're breaking up, Aki. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear your last part.
Oh, okay, so basically what I was saying was that, so basically Danny, if you notice, Daniel is actually trying to discuss the topic, but
Yes.
Tjump is just kind
Yeah.
of like making faces.
Yeah, he's just making faces and just randomly attacking whatever point that Daniel makes, which he thinks he could respond to and which he thinks the weak link. That's all. He's not addressing the whole story. You see, if you notice this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It seems like he's just like bored. He's just like looking around, like so like
I mean, the
conversing
guy,
with these
you
people.
know, if you ask me, the guy is totally incompetent to debate, such high
Yeah,
level
yeah.
topics. He's just interested in debating low level ones like does God exist? Can God be proven scientifically? That kind of arguments. But this is a bit too high for him.
All right, let's continue.
Chemistry department are all dominated by men, and there's not equality in those departments with equal female and male professors. So he's addressing this issue and this fact, and he's saying that, look, this is just a function of the distribution of IQs between the genders, and he was fired from that. And who's leading that kind of witch hunt against him? It's people who have a secular value system and view religion as toxic and are critics of religion, including many atheists. So this is what you have to explain. That's the whole point of being consistent. The debate topic said nothing about God or you have to be consistent about views on religion, just consistent skepticism. Muslims are consistent. We're consistent in applying. Yeah, laugh it up, Tom. We have
Oh, why is he laughing? Like, what's so funny about this? I don't get it. Like he
I
just
don't get it
said
as
that.
well. I don't get it as well. I mean, I don't find it funny.
So
So
basically, Brother Daniel said that Muslims are consistent when it comes to our worldview, right? When it comes to being skeptical or non-skeptical, we're consistent. We have this one consistent worldview, which is Islam. Atheists don't have that. So what's funny about that? I don't understand. That is, he's right. Like,
yes, exactly. Yeah. Brother, are you there? I can't hear anything from your side.
okay, we're back. All
Are
right,
you
we're
there,
back.
brother? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
What
I'm here. I'm
happened?
here.
What happened? You were muted.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
that the internet had a meltdown.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think it's an issue on your side, Aki. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Let's hope
Yeah.
it doesn't happen again.
All right. All right.
Let's
Okay.
continue.
All right. All right.
Inshallah. We have some
All right.
T-Jump trolls in the comments.
Yeah, I can see one right now. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Let's continue.
Yeah.
we're consistent in that we approach the world through our religion, through Islam. That is what being consistent means. It's inconsistent when you are laser focused on religion, and you ignore every other belief system that is out there and that you yourself accept and endorse. So that's what we call inconsistency. And I mean, the thing about, I don't know, how much time do I have, Tom?
We got 1 minute and 31 seconds.
Okay, so the thing about
By the bro, I think it's best if we just keep the cameras off. That way, there's no like. Hopefully.
Okay. I think I should do that as well because it's definitely affecting your internet. Yeah.
And by the way, don't worry. When we get to the good parts, we're gonna turn on our camera, inshallah.
All right. All right.
about consistency is that if atheists did practice consistent skepticism across the board, Western society would collapse. Consistent skepticism and scrutiny on the basis of science would literally destroy public trust in every secular institution. Imagine applying scientific scrutiny to American or European history and realizing that what they teach in public schools about the modern West being the good guys in history, etc., is just a hoax. And in actuality, the West was built on and continues to thrive on systematic war and genocide. Imagine applying scientific scrutiny to the modern secular way of life and realizing it's actually objectively harmful compared to traditional lifestyles or religious lifestyles. Skepticism of this nature would cause modern secular society to slowly descend into chaos. And that's precisely why Western governments strictly control speech. They censor, they strictly control thought with an army of fact checkers and departments of misinformation. If a country like Russia or China, for example, want to destroy America, they wouldn't need to nuke us. All they would need to do is provide Americans with open, uncensored internet, as well as NGOs that could operate in America and attract the top dissident minds with big salaries and have those instantly push political narratives that contradict the secular American government. In fact, this is exactly what America does to other countries in order to push secularization as well as stir revolution and spark regime change. Skepticism is a powerful weapon, which is exactly why atheists apply it selectively against others, but rarely point the gun at their own beliefs. What makes it egregious is when atheists deny this glaring inconsistency.
We have to kick it over to Tom for his 5-minute rebuttal as well. Tom, thanks very much. The floor is all yours. Folks, if you happen to have questions for the Q&A, because we will have a Q&A following the open discussion, you can submit them here at the YouTube channel Modern Day Debate.
Oh, okay, we're back. Bro, are you there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay, nice. Okay, let's continue, inshallah.
So skepticism is like doubting, like is something true and something false, and you see. In the case of all the examples he listed, there's evidence for both sides, so you can find evidence for both sides. There's many different papers in the spectrum of proof in sociology, one way or the other. It's very difficult field to establish proof one way or the other. But in the case of magical skydiving, there's zero evidence, so it's pretty easy to be like, yeah, that's garbage. And so in the case of all of the atheists he mentioned, they have evidence to support their
Yeah,
position.
so this like insult doesn't make any sense. First of all, like what the hell is a sky daddy? Like who believes in daddy? No Muslims believe that like the God is like father or something.
No,
Right?
no, that is a Christian belief, not our belief.
Yeah, so this idiot doesn't even know the difference between Christians and Muslims.
Yep. I mean, Christians call upon God as the Father. We don't. We consider it to be shirk. Okay, it's against because God does not have a son. We don't believe this.
Yeah. So yeah. By the let's continue, inshallah.
And the debate is over who's right. That's the question. We don't have proof one way or the other. And so they are being consistent skeptics. They have your skeptical position. They found evidence to support their position, and they believe it for that reason. I may disagree with many of them. That's fine. But as long as you have evidence to support your position, then you're being a consistent skeptic. You've questioned it, found evidence, come to a conclusion. So he has provided no examples where all of the people or any of the people listed have no evidence for their.
So if you notice, he changed the definition of sorry, he changed the argument. So basically, Daniel's argument is that when it comes to epistemological position, atheists are not consistent. Okay, they have one epistemological position when it comes to religion or religious claims, but then another epistemological position when it comes to moral claims. That's his argument. That's the inconsistency he's talking about. And yet, T-Jump is completely misrepresenting him and saying that no consistency. He's talking about consistency in terms of if they have evidence for it, they believe it. That's it. No, that's not the point. Like we're talking about what type of evidence, right? Like for example, if you're saying that if you're like drinking tea, and you're saying that this type of tea is the best tea in the world, and you have a consistent reason, which is that if something is sugary, then it tastes good. Then you have to be consistent and say that everything that is sugary is tastes good. So you have to be consistent with it. Then if you say all of a sudden that something that tastes sugary is not good, then you need to explain why that is the case. Otherwise, you're being inconsistent, right?
Yep. That's the whole point.
Yeah. And T-Jump, being the idiot that he is, can't understand simple logic.
Not surprised.
Their position and are therefore inconsistent skeptics, which is what you have to provide. It's like, give me if you think atheists are inconsistent skeptics, show me a belief, and show me a belief that has no evidence for it, and that they believe it anyway.
What does this has to do with anything? That's not what Daniel said. That's not what Daniel's argument is. Like his whole point is about inconsistency, and he's saying that show me where atheists don't have evidence to believe in something. That's not what Daniel said. That's a complete straw man.
Yes. I mean, I think it's a red herring as well.
Yeah, that's a complete straw man, and it has nothing to do with the topic at all.
Definitely, yeah.
You got it. We'll jump into open discussion. I want to remind you, gentlemen, would like to keep questions to a minimum. So if you take maybe 60 to 90 seconds in your responses, that's ideal. If there is too much interrupting, we'll
here the fun starts.
But this is where the fun begins.
Take it into 2-minute responses, where I'll segment the time. In other words, have 2-minute speeches from each of you back and forth during the open discussion. We can't have a civil discourse. But with that, thank you very much. The floor is all yours.
Yeah, so I did provide a lot of examples. You're saying that, well, atheists will support whatever has evidence behind it. And I think that's true. You see atheists in philosophy.
Hold on. I'm turning on my camera. Let's go back. Look at his face. Look at his face.
Yeah, so I did provide a lot of examples. You're saying that, well, atheists will support whatever has evidence behind it. And I think that's true. You see atheists in philosophy departments, they will not agree on a lot of facts. In fact, there's no consensus on very basic issues like what is justice, what is good.
Starting to pinch his nose.
So cringe. So cringe. Yeah, exactly. And everyone can tell he's faking it. That's the worst part. Like when he was doing it with like on my debate, I could tell he's faking it. It's so cringe.
It's super cringe. I mean, during my debate, he did the same thing. I thought of taking him out, but at the time I was quite new to the whole MDD thing. I mean, I didn't know who this character was. So I thought that, if I were to call him out for that, it would be disrespectful to him, because, even though this guy is just an idiot, but I wanted to respect the opponent. So I just
Big
let it
mistake though.
slide. Yeah, I just let it slide because I didn't want to be seen as rude to, James and, to Tjump himself. But looking
Yeah.
back again in retrospect, maybe I should have called him out on that. If I had done that, then maybe he would have realized that he couldn't do these silly tricks with me.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, so basically he has this debate tactic, right? So basically he will insult his opponent when he can't like respond to his argument to like make his opponent more nervous so that he makes a mistake. And this is a very cheap and dirty tactic, but he does it with everybody. He basically insults them, mocks them, and especially when he realizes that he is
Yeah,
saying something wrong.
basically like how basically it's like how Godless Girl tried to do with me, but I kept my calm. Alhamdulillah. For some reason I managed to keep my calm.
Yeah. So basically, this is like a very dirty tactic, and this may work against someone who has a very smaller audience, because his audience is just gonna go over there and bully them. But the thing is that it's not gonna work with someone like Daniel, who has way bigger personality than he is, right? And that's exactly what happened. Like he got absolutely shredded for his stupidity.
Yep, that's
Are you
right.
there?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still here. Don't worry. I'm listening.
So yeah, the cringe begins. Let's continue.
Yep.
Goodness, is free will a reality, or is there a determinist reality? All of these philosophical questions have been debated hotly by philosophers, and each philosopher has his own rationale for supporting his position. But when it comes to the political domain, you don't see the same. No, you don't. I cited Pew Research, where 90% of atheists believe that premarital sex is perfectly morally acceptable.
Yep.
Pornography is morally acceptable.
Yes.
When it comes to women's education, when it comes to women's representation, when it comes to the value of freedom, when it comes to the value of democracy,
Where's
these
the,
are all
one sec, one
things.
sec. Where's
these are all
the
things
scientific
that-
evidence that those are morally unacceptable?
There's plenty of
What does this has to do with anything? Like, what is he talking about? Scientific evidence for why those are morally unacceptable. So he basically didn't listen to anything Daniel said. Daniel already cited his sources and like his evidences, and that's his point. Like there are many examples of scientific evidence that goes against. Like for example, the RAPED word is evolutionary normal. Like it's completely normal in evolution, right? And yet, no atheist in the world is gonna say, unless you're like Richard Dawkins, will say that RAPED is normal or it's morally okay. That's what he's talking about. And that's Daniel's point, that they are not consistent. And he's saying that, oh, where's the scientific evidence that this is morally wrong? I mean, do you not know how atheist philosophers or thinkers work? Like, have you ever heard Richard Dawkins say that RAPED is morally okay? Not morally okay. Is is normal in evolution. What is he talking about? Basically he's playing dumb. He's playing dumb so that he can win the debate. Bro, are you there?
Yes, I'm still here. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah. So you wanna add something?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's pretty much clear that this donkey doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's continue.
scientific evidence that puts all of those things into question.
Where
But
is
the point is that
the question was, what is the scientific evidence that those are morally unacceptable?
Again,
Please
like
explain-
this is complete red herring. What does that have to do with anything? Like, where's the scientific evidence? He gave you the evidence. And this is the thing. He constantly interjecting while Daniel is talking. That's another thing.
Yes,
Like,
that's right. Right.
Dude,
That's right. And he's
wait
not-
2 minutes. Like, I mean, he already gave you like a whole presentation. He went through
Exactly.
everything.
Yeah.
And he's saying that, oh, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? So stupid. Brother F. Saf Kamal says he lies every second. He was asked by Hamza Matt and Dr. Larman on Yada whether he tests the credentials of a doctor or a pilot. He said yes and tried to justify it. Oh my God.
My God, this guy is delusional as well.
Yeah. And basically another thing I've noticed with him is like anytime like you corner him, he will just keep repeating his own position without giving any justification. And
Yep,
he
like what he
repeats it,
did with me.
repeats it.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
he did with me and the Lego set. Yeah, I mean, the Lego set.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Without making any valid point or giving any rationale.
Nope, he doesn't. He didn't. But I don't know why I didn't press him on it, because maybe I was trying to just be too polite.
Yeah, these are like kind of like the like Redditor atheist. Like you can be polite with these people.
That's right. Yeah.
Those are
Just
morally
first of all
acceptable.
acknowledge that there's not a discrepancy amongst, or there's consensus amongst atheists on all of those issues.
That they're not, that they're morally
Because
acceptable.
at first you said that no, atheists will have different positions depending on the evidence.
Yes. What is the evidence? What is the evidence that those are morally unacceptable?
For example, the issue of democracy versus dictatorship. There are many
No,
countries
before, like,
that was an
sexual-
example I mentioned.
no, I think you
Sexual
said-
liberation.
What is he talking about? He asked for evidence. He just gave him evidence, and then he said, "No, before that. What are you talking about? You asked for evidence." And now he's asking like the evidence doesn't matter. Like, what is he talking about? Then what do you want?
Women's promiscuity. You want to go into evidence?
Yeah,
We can-
things you
I
just
can
listed. Like,
look at any of my other debates. Look at any of the other
I don't, not
articles.
going to any debate.
Sexual
Give me-
promiscuity creates psychological problems in women. It increases depression.
What
Has
about
sexual
morality?
liberation. Stop interrupting you. Stop interrupting.
Well,
When
I'm
you
trying to
ask the question,
understand
I'm trying to
your
answer your question. Yeah, you asked the question, I'm answering your question.
Yeah,
So don't
but
interrupt.
what do the things you listed? What do they have to do with morality? Because you said atheist.
Okay, now he's changing his argument. Before he was saying that, okay, what is the scientific evidence that these are like what, dude? Are you serious? Like you just asked for evidence, and he's giving evidence, and now you're saying that, oh, but what does that has to do with like morality? So he's constantly shifting his goalpost. Did you notice this, bro? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, please give some insight.
Yeah,
Right
I
there?
mean, yeah, I'm okay with it. It's really nothing much to add, to be honest, because he's just being, he's actually proving Daniel's point. He's just being inconsistent again. That's all. Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
I mean, like, so basically he's
Yeah,
so basically he's like constantly changing his position,
exactly. I mean,
and
yeah.
so before he asked Daniel for evidence, and Daniel gave evidence, and then he said, "Oh, what does that evidence has to do with like the position that I have? What are you talking about? You asked for the evidence."
I think in logical fallacies, I think this is called shifting the goalposts. He's just changing.
The brother Shaf Kamal said the right thing.
Yes, yeah.
He always
Shifting
shift
goals.
goalposts because he
Yeah,
knows he
shifting
cannot
goalposts.
counter his interlocutor's points. Exactly. Because the thing is that you asked for the evidence, and now you're saying the evidence has nothing to do with it. Then why do you ask? Why are you asking for evidence then? What? So stupid. But anyway, let's continue.
Is
Have
the issue
agreement
of sexual promiscuity a moral issue? That's how it has to do with morality. Okay.
Sure. But what is the evidence you provided? You didn't provide any evidence that's not moral.
Look, I'm saying that this is a conversation about facts. So there are plenty of facts to say that sexual promiscuity causes harm.
What does that have to do with morality?
You don't understand how harm has something to do with morality?
Not in the context of what you're saying. No. So you said that atheists have agreement that sexual promiscuity is perfectly moral. I agree. But that has nothing to do with whether or not it's harmful. So things can be moral regardless of whether or not they're harmful. Like, for example, it could be perfectly moral to do drugs or whatever, even if it harms you. That's totally fine. It doesn't matter if it causes harm. The fact that something causes harm doesn't make it moral or immoral. It's a
Well,
difference.
the fact that something causes harm is evidence that it's immoral. I can say it proves.
How? Just explain that one.
Okay, again, like, what is he talking about? This has nothing to do with the topic. Like, he's saying that, harm has nothing to do with, morality. I mean, like, are you serious? Like he just explained, like the whole point that Daniel is making is that, again, that atheists are not consistent when it comes to their moral and epistemological position, right?
Yes,
So
that's right.
whether you think harm has anything to do with or not has nothing to do with that. Like, for example, even if you like don't think that harm is not relevant to the conversation of morality, you still have an inconsistent moral position because it's not based on science, and that's Daniel's position. So he's just doing a red herring and bringing a topic that. So basically, he's trying to make Daniel look like Daniel doesn't know what he's talking about, but he's completely failing. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's showing his inconsistency again. You see. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
also,
like,
another thing that I recall Daniel saying is that he's not saying that harm is the only criterion. He's saying that harm is just one of the criterion. And Tjump
yeah.
just misrepresents Daniel, and he says, "Oh, you're saying that harm is the only criterion." You see, so that's also another thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he never said that.
Yes.
I mean, he even wrote it down that he's saying that science alone is not
No.
enough to make this type of decision, and that's
Yes.
exactly what atheists do. If they have
Yes.
scientific facts, they use it, but if they don't,
Yes.
they completely ignore it, or if it goes against
Exactly.
them, they ignore it. So
Exactly.
again,
Exactly.
that's another type of inconsistency, along with
Exactly.
their like inconsistency in their epistemological worldview. But
Exactly. Yeah.
regardless of that, yeah, this doesn't refute Daniel's point. Like, even if this is the case that harm has nothing to do with morality, you're still inconsistent because you still when it comes to your natural world epistemology, you use one type of epistemology, and
Yes.
when it comes to
Yes.
your moral claims, you use another epistemology.
Yes, and
So it's
then another
inconsistent.
thing is that another thing is that later on in the in the cross examination, he says that his criterion is to gain consent, and that if that consent is given without harming the other guy, then it's allowed. You see, this is his point. Yeah, this is his inconsistency again showing, because early on he says that harm is not the only criterion, and yet he uses harm as a criterion to determine consent. See, you see what I'm getting at
uh, yeah, bro, I think you're cutting off. I couldn't
again.
hear you.
All right, okay. I'm not sure what's happening. I mean your voice is fine. Can
By
you
the
hear me?
way, chat, can you guys let us know, can you guys hear us properly?
Yeah, if my voice is not clear, please let me know, right? Because from my end everything seems fine, but you never know. Okay.
Okay, okay, yeah, sure, maybe it's just on my end, but regardless, let's continue.
To me, how is the fact that it causes harm indicate that it's immoral? Explain that one to me.
Again, that's a straw man. He never said that.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you think it's
Jam is
harmful
known
to
for his
subjugate
comments.
a certain race?
Are you asking? No, I asked you a question. How is it harm
You
indicate
asked, my
morality?
turn to ask questions. My turn to
No,
ask
no, no.
questions.
This is like the entire point you've been trying to make. And I'm trying to like
Because it's something that's very basic. That
How-
harm
No, that's not the entire point he's trying to make. He's saying that harm is related to moral decisions,
Yes,
right?
yes, that's
But
right.
that's not the only thing, because he already said that science alone is not enough, right? That's his
Exactly,
point.
exactly. Yeah,
That science is not alone is not enough, because when it comes to your epistemological worldview or natural world claims, you use
yes.
science, but when it comes to moral claims, you don't use that. That's the point. And he again completely misses the mark. He's just such a doofus.
This guy.
is. Have you heard of
is-
harm principle? Have you heard of the how
Yes.
harm is calculated in utilitarian?
Aki, your screen is freezing.
Yeah,
Your screen just froze. Did you pause it?
yeah. I paused it.
Oh, all right. Okay.
He gave me a heart attack. But okay, so basically, he says that the harm principle or utilitarianism has nothing to do with morality. Is it true, bro?
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
So basically, he said that harm or utilitarianism has nothing to do with morality. Is that true?
Utilitarianism is part of morality. It's a morality principle. What the hell is he talking about?
All right, let me share a paper with you guys so
All
we
right.
understand. We can get educated on this matter.
Yep. Just Google utilitarianism.
Let's look at utilitarianism. Let me share the screen. Share screen, Chrome tab. Here we go. By the way, you know what's funny? The paper that I'm quoting from is actually the paper that he insulted me for and called me stupid for, because I didn't quote from this paper. Even though I was talking about neuroscience, that has nothing to do with like philosophy.
Huh.
But regardless, he was like, in the debate, he called me like stupid and idiot and moron and all these other kind of
Oh
things,
my God.
because I didn't quote from here, right? And now I'm quoting from here.
Oh my God.
So
This
let's
guy's
see if he actually read this. Act and rule utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is one of the best known and most influential moral theories. Moral theories. So,
Yeah, brother. I just shared with you another link. It's from Stanford University on philosophy as well. Maybe you can share that link.
yeah. Hold on, let me just.
Yeah.
Sorry, by the way, the net is really slow.
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. Yeah, we know that you're facing problems there. I hope everything is fine in Bangladesh.
Yeah, I mean, we're facing a lot of problems here, to be
Yeah,
honest, especially
yeah, I
regarding
mean,
electricity.
yeah. I
But
see. I see. Mm.
hopefully, let's hope that it works out.
All right.
Okay, it's loading. Yeah, it's loading. By the way, bro, okay, here it comes. Uh, okay, let's share this.
All right. All right.
All right, it took forever. All right, okay. The history of utilitarianism. Okay.
Yep. Yep. I think it's
Utilitarianism is one of the most powerful and persuasive approaches to normative ethics in the history of philosophy. The history of philosophy. So it's considered one of the most powerful normative ethics. Okay. What does ethic mean?
morality.
Yeah.
Read the second paragraph as well.
Yeah, hold on. Here we go. Let me share the screen. Yeah, ethics, moral principles that govern a person's behavior or conducting of an activity,
Yeah,
or the branch
morality.
of knowledge that deals with moral principles.
Yep.
So yeah, it's
Exactly.
morality.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
And he says
Definitely.
that has nothing to do with morality.
Yep.
Subhanallah.
Exactly.
I mean, like,
When you see an idiot, you are speechless because.
by the
My
way, there's
God.
actually a video if you want. I don't know if I can play it, but it actually explains what utilitarianism is, and it
Mhm.
explains that it's a moral theory. It's a video by Crash Course. Should we take a look at it, or like should we just continue?
I think we just continue. Maybe you can share the link
Yeah,
with
yeah,
me
yeah,
in the
yeah.
private chat,
Yeah,
right?
sure, 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 sure,
Just share it with me in the private chat. Yeah.
sure. Let's continue.
All right.
So morality says there is an objective right and wrong. Utilitarianism doesn't. So
Yes, it does.
no.
Ask John, ask any of these philosophical.
So
Let's go.
Oh my god! Here it
He's
goes.
doing the face thing again. Yeah.
Ah, like that's like his go-to like point, right? So when he realized that he said something incredibly stupid, and he can admit to this, instead, now that he knows he's wrong, he has to make his opponent look stupid. So in order to make his opponent look stupid, he's gonna do this all this facial expression.
Yes, he has to
Oh,
do all
this
his
guy's so
facial
stupid.
reactions. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So cringe. I mean, like,
Yes.
how can you not know that even a 5-year-old child knows this? That utilitarianism is a moral theory.
Oh,
question I asked.
Actually, what's your question?
Was
Philosophy?
not
Wait,
something.
you don't
By the way, brother Daniel asked a very good question. What's his credential? He's saying that he's stupid. What's his credential?
Do you notice that when Brother Daniel asked what T Jump's credentials? Sorry. What when T Jump asked what Daniel's credentials were, Daniel answered it. He said that he had multiple degrees in philosophy from Stanford. But when Daniel asked the same question to T Jump just simply avoids answering. Do you notice
Yeah,
this?
yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, he didn't want to answer it at first. He then later on answered it in
He
the
didn't even
questions.
answer it towards the end. He just said the best answer that he came up with was he audited several classes in philosophy. That's all.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? I mean, what does that even mean? I mean, what do you mean by auditing several classes? I don't really get it. Does that mean do you have a degree or you're just being a professor or you're just a student that just
Maybe he
wanted
like
to
clean the classrooms or something.
yeah. I mean, what does auditing several classes mean? I don't understand that particular. I mean, why is that even a credential? Okay, why is that even a credential? You see, if you're helping out
Yeah,
with someone
probably
that
means he's
doesn't know,
auditing the class by cleaning the classrooms and whatnot.
I mean, what does he mean by audit, right? I mean, it doesn't make any to me. It doesn't make any sense academically. I mean, from an academia perspective, what does that actually mean? Is it? Yeah.
It definitely doesn't mean that he went to university. That's for sure.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. It definitely doesn't mean that he has multiple degrees in philosophy from Stanford. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I think I think
Sorry,
later on.
Harvard, not Stanford. Sorry, Harvard. Yeah, Harvard University.
Yeah. So basically, I think he's a high school dropout and watches a lot of internet debates between atheists and theists, and that's his credential.
Basically, he's the non ex-Muslim version of Apus, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's good, dude.
Hey,
Wait,
they
you
need
have
a
2
question.
minutes.
I asked a question. I asked a very
This
simple
guy's
question.
But it's difficult. Just be sure that they can hear each of you. Just want to, if I have to break it into 2 minute segments, just because it's been really fruitful and people want to hear what each of you have to say. I just want to be sure that there's not too much interrupting, otherwise they can't hear either of you.
So the question I asked was, how does harm indicate?
Wait.
Was
This
harm
is the fun part. We gotta turn on our camera for this. Even if the internet goes, let's turn on the camera. Bro, are you there? Yeah. Let's see. This is gonna be fun.
is that skeptics are not consistent because they agree sexual promiscuity is moral, even though it causes harm. But there's no evidence that harm equals morality. In fact, that's literally the wrong thing. We know that
No one said that.
harm is irrelevant to morality because there can be harmful things which are moral, and this is very common. So you agree harm doesn't indicate it's immoral. So even if
Your initial claim was that harm has nothing to do with morality, and I simply pointed out that yes, it does have a lot to do with morality.
that's literally a relevant question. So
Bro, are you there? I think it's frozen.
Yeah. I mean, I purposely muted myself. Yeah.
Oh my god! Did you hear what he just said? So he
Yes.
said that.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
He said that. Let's just continue.
things can cause harm and be moral. Therefore, if something is harmful, it doesn't tell you whether or not it's moral.
I didn't
He
say
never
that.
said that. Exactly. Who is he arguing with? He's arguing with himself. He's arguing with him with his own imaginary version of what Daniel said.
My God, this guy is a pain to hear again, you know. And I thought I could hear him again, but the once was that one time when I listened to it live, I was like cringe. Now I'm cringing again. My God.
That I said that harm is evidence that something could be immoral.
No, that's literally.
No? Did he say no?
I got him. He doesn't even know that he's been completely misrepresenting Daniel's position.
Oh my God, this guy so cringe.
Oh wait, sorry.
Okay. Oh, what happened to your internet?
No,
Oh,
it's fine.
it's buffering.
No, I kind of accidentally
Okay.
closed it.
All right.
All right, let's continue. What is he talking about?
You know what?
Right,
I'm having fun listening, doing this reaction.
All right, so in his head, in Tjump's head, Daniel said that harm is the only thing that determines whether something is right or wrong. Therefore, I got him when I said that harm has nothing to do with morality. So when he said that harm has nothing to do with morality, he's contradicting himself. Oh, gotcha, theist. Gotcha. I got you, theist. Oh my God, what an idiot. What an absolute idiot. He
This guy is
doesn't
a
realize
clown.
that he's simply clarifying the fact
Tjump
that you've been strawmanning him.
Basically, Tjump brings the whole circus with him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's basically explaining to you that you're so stupid, you doesn't even understand his basic argument. And you're saying, oh, you're contradicting yourself. So stupid. Oh my God.
My God, this guy is cringe, really.
Cringe. Wallahi.
It's super cringe. Yeah.
Those are opposite things. Those are mutually
You know that something. No, you can have evidence that something is wrong, and there'll be other evidence that contravenes that.
That's
Overall, that's exactly how utilitarianism works.
Oh, Oh, I'm so stupid. I don't understand my opponent's argument, so I gotta do faces. Oh, bro, turn on your camera. Let's see some facial expression.
No, I'm just worried that it might affect your internet. That's why I switched it off. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God, this one, this classic.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, and that is an argument for him. That is his argument.
yeah, that's his argument. Yeah. Oh, doing faces. Oh my god. By the way, Tjump, Tom, if you're like watching, making faces is not an argument. I know this is shocking to you, but strawmanning your opponent is not an argument.
Yeah, I mean, go back to auditing class, Tom. I think you're probably good at that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm,
Let's
you were
continue.
probably good at it. Yeah,
All right, I think we're almost at the end. We're gonna watch a few
I hope
more
so
of it.
because I hope so because I'm
a
kind
few
of
more of this cringe, and then we're done, inshallah.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, right.
Let's go.
No, that's absolutely not how it
Your
works.
eyes. You don't know what you're talking about.
I clearly do.
You said that utilitarianism isn't a moral.
No, I
theory.
clearly understand. If I repeat this, I'm gonna defeat my opponent. I clearly know. You don't know. I clearly. If you say that you know, then you have to demonstrate how you're right and in your knowledge.
Yeah,
Right?
basically you need to explain to your opponent that what is it that you know about the argument. He didn't do this. He just said, "Oh, I know," but just repeating it 10 times doesn't mean that you know it,
This is
right?
so ridiculous. And this is something Brother Daniel talked about as well. Hold on, let me just turn off the camera for a bit. Which is that this guy is so shallow that he is not even engaging with the topic. So when you're debating, like a professional debater, right? The debater will be respectful and he will try to steelman your position. Like, for example, I recently had a back and forth with Stephen Woodford from Rationality Rules. Although he did misrepresent me at times, he still respected
Audio, what's wrong with your internet, Aki?
to this stupid like mental gymnastic. So I gave the courtesy back to him, and when I realized that I kind of misrepresented his position, I apologized, right? Because that's how you do. You have some mutual respect for your opponent. But this guy is so lowbrow that he can't admit that there may be something that he's just simply missing. That okay, you know what? Fair enough. I didn't understand what you're saying, so let me try to steelman your position and then attack that position. But no, he's saying that no, you're wrong. You're wrong. So childish.
My God, this guy is like cringe,
Yeah,
cringe,
let's-
just cringe. Yeah, just super cringe.
Let's continue, inshallah.
Yep. All right.
Pragmatist here.
And
Pragmatist
nothing to
here.
do with moral.
What is? Do you know the difference between
Is
moral
pragmatism
realism?
a moral theory?
Do you know the difference between pragmatism and moral
You
realism?
don't think utilitarianism is a moral theory?
Oh my god. Oh my god. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I gotta do faces. So stupid. Bro, if I had like proper internet connection, like this would be really funny. This would be a really funny stream.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
really
just
sorry,
trying
guys.
to.
But this would have been really funny if the internet connection was properly working. I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
I mean, I had to switch on my camera because I don't want to slow up the stream, right? Because if I switch on my camera,
It's fine,
everything will be
it's
slowed down.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah.
Hey, you know what? I have an idea. Why don't we like do like a skit? You know, the one I talked about later on, and inshallah we'll upload it.
Yeah, let's do that in a different video, I guess. Recorded
Yeah.
video.
Yeah, sure. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Can you stop deflating
Stop.
the relevancy?
You're
I know more
trying
about
to
stop.
distract-
I'm trying to get back on
Stop.
topic.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to get back on
It's not even a moral theory. It's so embarrassing.
So what I want to do is I'll kick it over to Tom for his question that he just asked. I can't remember exactly what it was, and then we'll give you a chance to respond, Daniel, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll give you a chance to basically ask a question in kind to Tom as well.
All right, so I'll break it down in pretty logic form because he's so uneducated of logic.
Oh my god! I'm gonna break it down pretty logic form. I'm gonna destroy this guy. Oh my god! So, oh brother, Nizar, yes, brother. Okay. So, so basically, he just realized that he's been misrepresenting Daniel, and that looks pretty bad, right? So he can admit this. So he has to say that it'll make Daniel look stupid somehow, because
Yes.
that's his debate tactic. He
Yep.
wants to make his opponent look stupid. He doesn't want to engage with the idea itself.
No, he's not engaging with the
Did you
idea at
realize
all.
this?
Right from the beginning, he wasn't even engaging with the idea. He's just simply straw manning and red herring and insulting the opponent. That's all. Disrespecting the opponent's position. That's all. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically what he does, and that's what he's trying to do, and that's what he did to us, basically, or all his opponents, which is that he basically insults his opponent when he realizes that he doesn't have a valid point. He tries to make his opponent look stupid, and that's why he's doing all this.
Yep.
So basically, you will notice that he asked Daniel some completely irrelevant questions. He's saying that, oh, do you know the difference between this nonsense or this nonsense? I mean, what does that have to do with anything? Like, dude, try to steel man his position. Like, this is so dumb. And
I mean,
honestly, I think,
engage the position. Don't bring another topic into the picture, right? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I know what I think. I think a lot of atheists, when they see this guy, they also cringe, and this is why this guy is not that popular among atheist circles.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw like there's like this forum on atheist forum of like Destiny. By the way, brother Daniel also debated Destiny, and Destiny, by the
Alright.
way, is a professional debater. And if you watch his debate, he's completely professional. And he tried to steal my Daniel's position, and this is
I
how you
see.
do debates, right?
Yes,
You listen
yes.
to your opponent and try to steal man their position. But he doesn't. He's so stupid that he doesn't understand how debates work.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
constantly trying to say, "Oh,
Basically the rule of thumb is heads I win, tails you lose. That's the basic principle of debating. Okay, so
yeah,
either way you win. Okay, either way you win. If you understand what I mean by heads I win, tails you lose, right? So this is something that the late Sheikh Ahmad Didat did as well. Okay, when he debated Christians. So that is why Sheikh Ahmad Didat is a great debater because of this. Okay, it's not very easy to find someone like this in the Muslim world. Okay, and Sheikh Ahmad Didat is one good example of a great debater. So so Tjump didn't. I mean, he really doesn't know how to debate. He just simply says, "Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm wrong. You're wrong. I'm right. Right. You're wrong. I'm right. You're wrong. I'm right. You're wrong." And he repeats this 100 times over, thinking that he's right. You see?
yeah." So basically, he's just nitpicking. That's it. Like, he's not engaging with the topic. The conversation is not going anywhere. You will notice this. And brother
Oh.
Daniel was extremely frustrated, and he even talked about this in the debate review. And anyone who debates this guy is gonna feel frustrated because the conversation was not discussed. So this is extremely frustrating because you're just wasting my time then.
Yeah, he's just wasting his time. You see? So no.
Yeah.
There wasn't any point debating really because he didn't understand the argument, and he's just saying, "Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right." That's it.
Yeah.
That's basically what it boils out.
Yeah,
It boils
so
down to.
brother Mr. Saptaman said he uses some gotcha jargon terms that he thinks that opponent will not know. He tries to act like he's refuting his opponent. Yeah, that's basically what he's doing.
Yeah. He did that to me.
basically-
He did that to me several times during our debate. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically, he tries to make his opponent look stupid instead of trying to actually engage with the argument itself. Regardless, let's continue. Let's hope it ends.
All right.
Soon.
Yeah.
The argument he made was skeptics are inconsistent because they agree that sexual promiscuity is moral. And then he tried to make the connection that because it causes harm, therefore this previous statement is an inconsistency. Now, if you know anything about moral realism, moral philosophy at all, then you know that just because something causes harm doesn't tell you whether or not it's moral or immoral. So for his argument to hold, then atheists would have to think that because it's harmful, therefore it is by definition immoral, which nobody thinks. It's not a thing anybody thinks. It's not.
So there's no utilitarian atheist out there. There's no, no atheists who think that harm is bad.
Oh, by the way, look at brother Daniel's expression. That's classic. He's rolling out his eyes in frustration.
Hold on. Let me just go back to fully understand what stupidity he's saying.
Philosophy. The argument he made was skeptics are inconsistent because they agree that sexual promiscuity is moral. And then he's trying to make this connection that because it causes harm, therefore this previous statement is an inconsistency.
That's a complete straw man. That's not what Daniel said at all. I mean, Daniel basically laid out the argument in the beginning. And again, I'm repeating this, but his point is that when it comes to epistemology, atheists are not consistent because when it comes to religious claims, they have one epistemology. When it comes to moral claims, they have a different epistemology. That's his argument. His argument isn't that, these atheists are saying that they think that sexual promiscuity is okay, But then later on, they're contradicting that by saying, by showing that, but there are a lot of facts about morality, which is a part of the argument, yes, but that's not all of it. So basically,
that's not the main argument. That's just an example.
Yeah. That's like that he's basically giving an example. So instead of going after the main argument, he's just saying that, harm principle doesn't mean anything. Something is either good or bad. That's
Basically,
not the point.
basically, he's just attacking the example. He's not attacking the argument, the actual argument.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is that that's not the point. Even if you think that morality or harm principle has nothing to do with morality, you're still not consistent. Daniel is still correct. You didn't refute Daniel's point.
No, he didn't. No.
Like you're just saying that Daniel is wrong because he's pointing out something that many atheists think, that many of the atheists are utilitarians. Like, what are you talking about, man? Look up a utilitarianism. Many atheists are utilitarian. Like, look at Cosmic Skeptic. Cosmic Skeptic is a very popular atheist. He's a utilitarian. He debated Muhammad Hijab, right? You know this, right, bro?
Sorry, what did you say just now?
For example, Cosmic Skeptic, right? He had a debate with Muhammad Hijab.
Oh, I didn't know that, because I don't. To be honest, I don't really follow atheist debates with Muslims.
Yeah, so basically he had a whole debate with morality with Muhammad Hijab, and he defended utilitarianism. He's a utilitarianist. He's very popular, and utilitarianism is the position that many atheists hold to.
I see. And Tjump just threw everything under the bus, right?
Yeah, and he said that no one believes this. You know what?
So
let me see if there's any statistics out there.
So he's proving Tjump's. So he's proving Daniel's point again by being inconsistent, right? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, bro, I'm just researching something. You keep talking, inshallah.
All right, I'm just waiting for you. Yeah.
Bro, keep talking, inshallah. I'm just researching something, and I'll come back, inshallah.
Not sure what to talk about, but yeah, I mean, Tjump is inconsistent. We have seen how inconsistent he has been. So, his inconsistency actually proves that Daniel's position is correct, which answers the question: atheists consistent skeptics, right? So, by being inconsistent himself, he proves that atheists are inconsistent, in their skepticism. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much clear, right? So yeah, nothing much to add, Aki. I'm just waiting for you. Take your time. Don't worry. It's your stream. Oh, by the way, how many people are watching this stream? Because I'm not following this on YouTube. Just watching.
Yeah, there are 7 people watching, inshallah.
MashaAllah, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Nice. So basically, I'm trying to find like a study that if there's any study. By the way, anyone in chat, can you guys do you guys know of any studies that shows how many atheists are utilitarians? I think that would be really helpful. Basically, I'm trying to like research this because
I don't think there will be such a study, because atheists are.
Wait a minute. I think Tjump later on contradicts himself. He admits this later on.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I think so.
Let's see this. Yeah, let's see this, man.
Yeah, let's continue.
Now, if you know anything about moral realism, moral philosophy at all, then you know that just because something causes harm doesn't tell you whether or not it's moral or immoral. So for his argument to hold, then atheists would have to think that because it's harmful, therefore it is by definition immoral, which nobody thinks. It's not a thing anybody thinks. It's not. Daniel even admitted things can cause harm and be moral. So one of these examples would be sexual promiscuity. It can cause harm and still be moral, and which completely contravenes his entire point here. If things can cause harm and be moral, then the fact that it causes harm is irrelevant to whether or not it's moral. And so the fact that atheists think it's moral isn't an inconsistency. Like, baby steps on logic here, Daniel. Go.
Oh, what an idiot! Like, no, it doesn't. Even if you say that, morality has nothing to do with harm or any of this, Daniel's point is still there. Like, even if you think whatever moral ethics, it doesn't matter. Like moral position you have or how you have them. The point here is that it's different than scientific skepticism. That's his point. Like, this idiot still doesn't get the argument.
I'm not surprised. I'm totally unsurprised. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the condescension. Where's your degree in philosophy? Where's your degree? I have multiple degrees in philosophy. Where's your degree in
You should ask your
philosophy?
money back.
Don't interrupt, please. Okay, I didn't interrupt your stupid remarks. Okay, look, you can say that harm is conclusive in determining a moral position. I said that evidence is one of the factors that is part of moral evaluation, and humans biologically take harm into account when they determine what they view to be moral or immoral. Now, you want to say that, oh, there's some kind of scientific consensus that promiscuity is not harmful? Where? Show me that.
literally said the
Don't
opposite.
interrupt. Don't interrupt.
I said the opposite.
No, you're strawmanning me. Don't interrupt. See, this guy's interrupting me.
Seconds, and then we'll come back to you, Tom.
Oh, no, if he's going to misrepresent like
He's-
something,
he's-
Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is genius.
This is the delicious part, right? When
Yeah,
Tjump
yeah.
goes against the moderator and
Yeah.
picks a fight with James.
Let's
Everything
This
that
guy is
Definitely address it after.
Yes.
He's just got another 60 seconds. The only difference is just 60 seconds. You can address what you
No,
think.
I'm morally obligated to stop him if he literally says
Morally
something.
Obligated. This guy wants to talk about morality and yet shows no morals. Oh my god, how is this ethically acceptable anyway? To interrupt
Yeah.
your
Where's his scientific evidence for this? Where's your scientific evidence for this, Tommy?
Where's the empirical evidence for you to be able to interrupt your host if you don't agree with your
Yeah. Exactly.
the opposite of something I
That's,
said.
No,
you
you're not.
guys- it's
Just
the same way that
have some
Daniel-
respect.
the same way that Daniel gave you the time to respond. We just got to give him another 60 seconds.
I'm going to be clear on this. If he says Tom said and then something I didn't
Tom,
say, I'm going to say I didn't say that.
What is the difference between 60 seconds and correct him? You'll have 2 minutes.
Oh my god, this guy's yeah. My
Look
god,
at Daniel's
this guy-
face. Like,
Oh,
he's
he's
so
totally-
done.
Daniel seems to be dying from Tjump's stupidity. So
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't blame him. Like, anyone who debates him has this experience. Like, this guy's so insufferable.
yeah, he is.
Totally insufferable.
I agree. And I agree 200%. I agree.
Brother Shapkama said, now he shifted towards Daniel's position that just because something is harmful doesn't mean it's immoral. He constantly shifts the goalpost and strawman his opponent. Yeah, Daniel never said that, just because something is harmful, therefore it's immoral. That's one of the factors that, atheists often use. But his main point is that atheists are not consistent. And in the beginning, he even admitted to this. And now he's saying that, no, actually, it's something else.
Oh my god.
To correct him, we just got to give him another 60 seconds.
I'm telling you, I'm going to do this.
Dude,
This is
it's-
non-negotiable.
I mean, you can't let someone talk
This is
because
just-
you
it's like-
can't follow a thread of thought. That's the
This is-
problem with you.
It's
T-Jump.
not unreasonable.
T-Jump.
T-Jump jumps.
He
T-Jump
jumps
likes to
from one
jump.
topic to another.
T-Jumps like to jump a lot. Yeah, T-Jump just loves jumping. Yeah. Jumping from
I
one
asked
point
to
to
give
another.
him the same
right?
amount of time that you just had, Tom.
No, if he
I could have
directly
interrupted you
lies,
at
if
any
he
time.
lies about something
You
I
can't
said,
even understand like basic
You can-
argumentative
You can
form.
always.
Like, you have to
I'm trying
interrupt
be as
everything
fair
I
as
say.
possible.
I can't
Why?
hear what James is saying, Chop.
I'm trying to be fair as possible here. I need you to just give him the same amount of time that you were given. If you think that he's
That's not fair.
absolutely
not fair. That's not
So giving the same time to speak as your opponent is not fair, right? I mean,
No,
what,
I mean, that's not fair.
Does he have any empirical evidence or scientific studies which proves that this is not fair?
Yeah, prove it. Give us scientific evidence that this is not fair.
My God, this guy is a joke, man. He's totally a joke.
That's not fair.
address it in the following
You
statement.
know what? When he
No,
says,
no,
like,
no. So if he literally says something I did not ever say and is directly misrepresenting, like he literally says the word T-Jump said, and then something completely opposite to what I said, that's lying. And so the fair thing to do is say, no, that's not what I said.
You can do that after his 60 seconds from
No.
done.
No.
He sounds like when he says all this thing, he's saying that it's not fair. Oh, why can I interrupt? He sounds like a 5-year-old
Oh,
child.
brother. Mother Shop
Yeah.
common sense of a genius. Giving equal time to your opponent is not fair.
Brother, you're making me die of laughter. Okay. Okay, by the time you finish writing all your quips from Tjump, I'm going to die from laughing. Okay. Oh my god, that's genius, Aki. That's super genius. Yeah, that's a
Oh
very
my
good
God.
summary of what Tjump is trying to say.
Oh, so much cringe.
It's how debate has been done like for decades, where people would have time statements. It's how they typically do them still. It's not unreasonable. You'll have as much time as you need to rebut him, but I got to give him the same amount of time you just had.
That's fine, but I'm still gonna. If he directly lies about something I said, I'm gonna stop him and say, no, I didn't say that.
Look at this guy's attitude, right? Like he just showed himself to be a completely incompetent debater. Like he doesn't even understand the basics of how debates work.
I mean,
He
the
cannot-
fact that James, you see, the thing is the fact that James have to outline to this guy about the the ethics or the standards of debating, even though this guy has been debating other people for so long, just goes to show that this Tjump, after debating others for so long, he doesn't understand the basics of debating. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You see the point? I mean, it's not that this is not his first debate. He has been debating other people for so long. I mean, even you and I, right?
Yeah,
But he still doesn't understand the basics of debating, and James, as the moderator, has to tell him this.
By the way, bro, can you turn on the camera? Let's see if this works.
Are you sure you want to do this? Because I'm just afraid that it might slow down your
Yeah,
stream.
it's working. It's working. It's working.
All right.
It's pretty smooth now, actually.
Oh no, then
I think that my internet connection came back. Inshallah.
Okay. Sorry, I need to wear my cap again.
All right.
Right.
All right. Nice. All right. Okay, let's continue.
At no point in anything I said did I say sexual promiscuity isn't harmful.
My guess is that there are points where he also thinks that you're making up things about what he said, but he doesn't jump in. He gives you the full 2 minutes. So you got to kind of do it.
If I misrep what he said, I want him to stop me and correct me so I can get his argument correctly.
Dude, didn't you request this?
So basically, he wants the debate to be like, I saw this skit on like Monty Python. All right, I think we're back. Bri there?
Yes, I'm here. Don't worry. Yeah, still here.
Nice. By the way, brother Shaf Kamal says a mother carrying her baby is immoral, but having sex with a dead body.
Yep. I heard that. I heard what he said. Yeah, I mean, a mother carrying a baby is immoral because the baby didn't give the mother his consent to touch him.
Yeah.
Touch the baby.
All right, let's get this over with. Bro, I have an idea. Do you want to do like a second stream on your channel where we cover basically the Q&A?
Yes, why not? Why not?
Yeah,
why not?
sure. That sounds like a great idea.
That sounds like a good idea. Yeah. I think
all
we
right,
should
now,
do that.
Let's do it next Saturday, inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah. Probably not Saturday because I have the debate with Apus.
Okay.
Then maybe Sunday, all right?
Yeah, sure. That's doable.
All right.
In
fact, I don't know. In fact, maybe we can even cover Tjump while talking about my debate at the same time. After the debate, that is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Can do that.
Why not? Right. Let's see how it goes first. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's continue.
All right.
This debate, like, didn't you request this debate?
Sure.
Why don't you show respect to someone who agreed to debate you?
I am, by correcting your mistakes.
No,
so
you can be.
I'm respecting my opponent by constantly interjecting everything he says.
I'm respecting by my opponent by showing many faces and being rude and being and behaving like an idiot at the same time. Yeah, so that is how he shows respect. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, like yeah, that's how you show respect to your opponent. Right. This guy is so morally warped. That is why he can say that having sex with dead bodies is more moral than It's moral.
All right,
It's
let's
acceptable
continue.
with consent.
You can show respect by shutting your mouth when someone else is
No,
talking,
no,
according
I
to the
can-
moderator.
No, this is not fair.
No, it's not fair. I want to go to mommy. Mommy, where are you?
Look at how childish this guy is. I mean, like, can you imagine? I mean, I
No,
bet like a lot of.
he's just
This
he's
is why
just
actually,
behaving he's just behaving like a 5-year-old child who has been taken away his candy. That's all. I mean, that's pretty much sums it up, right? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like basically, he's acting like a child. I mean, I bet a lot of atheists are actually pissed at this guy because they actually there's a lot of atheists in the comment section. I don't know if you saw this.
Yep.
They said
Yep.
that
I did.
Daniel completely won this debate, and I'm an atheist.
Yes.
They're, I mean,
If you
making
look at the
declaration.
comments in MDD, there were a lot of atheists who said, "I'm an atheist, but I'm afraid that Tjump doesn't represent me." So, this kind of things. Yeah, and they say that Daniel makes good points, but Tjump is not representing our position very well, and I'm embarrassed. Along those lines.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
if you can't let your opponent talk or like make a valid point, then what are you even here for? If you're gonna contradict his
Why
debate.
do you even?
So basically, he's doing the same thing.
You see, the
Same
thing
thing
is,
in Monty Python.
why did he even agree to this debate in the first place if he's not going to let Daniel talk? You see?
Yeah. He's just gonna shout him, and argument is just contradiction.
Yeah, and making all those silly faces. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. Oh my God! No, it is not. Yes, it is. That's basically him. That's him basically.
Yeah, it's
in the
basically
Monty
like
Python skit.
exactly like the Monty Python video that you showed.
Skit,
Exactly.
yeah.
Skit. Yeah.
Oh my God.
This
If
guy
The
is
moderator is telling you
ignorant
to shut
mistake,
up. He has to explain to you in debate format.
No, if you make an ignorant mistake, the honest thing to do is to correct you.
on this because people want to hear more about your guys' ideas on this topic. So I hate to redirect us, but just to do that, let's give 60 seconds to Daniel, and then we'll come back to you, Tom, for your 2-minute rebuttal.
Okay, so the point that I was making is that there is the argument that Tjump is making is that, well, on these political issues like sexual promiscuity is morally okay. The reason that there's moral consensus on that amongst atheists is because it has to be backed by some kind of scientific evidence.
I never said
And
that.
so then why do atheists have a moral consensus on sexual promiscuity?
The moral views aren't based on scientific evidence. There isn't scientific evidence of moral views.
Then why is there consensus?
There's philosophical arguments.
So again, like he completely misunderstands what Daniel is saying. So Daniel's point is that again, his point is that okay, why don't you guys ask for scientific evidence for sexual promiscuity? Why not? And why do you guys agree on this, even though there's no scientific evidence for this? And he's saying that but we don't use science for this. Yeah, that's his point. Like why?
That's exactly his point. Yeah, exactly.
Why is there agreement on this?
Yeah.
Explain this.
So Tjump actually agrees that atheists are not consistent skeptics.
Yeah, he concedes the debate. That's the thing. He first concedes the debate, then acts like he didn't concede the debate. He says that no, you're contradicting yourself. When he's contradicting himself, then he's saying that you're contradicting yourself. When he's strawmanning Daniel, like what are you doing?
I mean, the guy is delusional. He thinks that he's a great debater, but he's just he acts like adult child, yeah, and he makes faces. And his classic, his greatest move is to make faces. Is to make 2,000 faces in 1 minute.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, so let's continue.
Yeah, let's just continue, bro. Yeah.
Not scientific arguments for morality. There are philosophical arguments for morality.
What is the philosophical argument that proves that sexual promiscuity is moral?
There's nothing that proves it. I just admitted that. That's not
What? He just said there's philosophical arguments
you
for
just
it.
considered the
He said,
debate.
what's the philosophical argument?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My God. He actually proves Daniel right.
Okay, I think I'll end the stream here. I think Brother MENJ might be late. So yeah, again, sorry about this, guys. I had a lot of internet issues, and it seems like it's still not fixed. And yeah, again, sorry about this. I'll try to kind of like edit these parts, and it's kind of like technical issue parts, but hopefully that won't be too long. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. It was very fun for me. And especially funny because like I've seen this guy Tjump and his fan base basically acting like some kind of a intellectual intellectual genius, and this guy's so like abhorrent. His behavior is disgusting. He always behaves completely childish and immature with anyone he debates. It doesn't matter who it is. He tries to make it seem like the opponent he's debating is stupid and doesn't know what he's talking about, when in reality the truth is that he himself does not know what he's talking about. He doesn't even understand how debates work. He doesn't even understand the foundations of how debates work. So yeah, that's basically what it is. He completely misunderstood what Daniel was saying. He couldn't respond to Daniel's point. He just basically wasted everyone's time. And yeah, and 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 this is why I advise anyone to like don't debate people like this. It's just a waste of time. But yeah, with this I want to end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Inshallah, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully we'll do another stream, but on brother MENJ's channel. He's probably busy right now, so he cannot join me at the moment. But yeah, I'll end with a quote from Tjump himself. Liking pizza over poop is the same as passing moral judgment on abortion. The great quote by the greatest philosopher of all time, Tjump. Anyway, yeah, I'm done. This guy's a clown, and don't waste your time on him. And yeah, with this in this live stream, thank you guys for joining. Inshallah, I'll see you guys next time. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Intro.